media has been saying for over a year, oh, we've minimized casualties. We have the best ratio of terrorists to innocent person killed in modern warfare. Ben Shapiro says that all the time. We're the most moral army in the world. But at the same time, they bomb the fuck out of buildings above ground while simultaneously telling you that Hamas has underground bunkers. The only conclusion that I can come to was that was the plan from the beginning. Level Gaza, kill as many Hamas guys as we can, use that as the excuse, destroy it, make it inhabitable, starve the population, make them miserable, and then make them leave Gaza and go to Egypt or Jordan.
For Rabbi Shmuley, I would say this. Do you as a Jewish man, and I've had this conversation with many Jewish people, and many of them do feel this, what I'm about to say, that if the level of hate and hateful rhetoric gets to a certain scale, that in itself can just precipitate violence against Jewish people? In other words, if you encourage and I would say the same, by the way, about...
Well, here's the reality. Israel's currently committing war crimes against innocent people. The world is watching it on stage, and they dislike Israel. The reason why there's a wild amount of people that are opposing Netanyahu, opposing Israel, opposing Zionism, is because of what's going on in Israel, right? And this is self-inflicted. They could have just run operations and went after the members of Hamas and systematically exterminated them, just like they did with Hezbollah, with the pagers. But they didn't. They decided, let's indiscriminately bomb and destroy Gaza, right? And then turn it into a beachfront property, which is what they're trying to do now. And I went ahead and I did a whole explanation of how we got here since World War II, all the way up until Trump's speech that he gave with Netanyahu, where he talked about we're going to take over Gaza. That was the plan from the beginning, chat. That was the plan from the beginning. So it's not that there's uptick in because of like some, arbitrary reason that no one can explain. No, it's you guys are committing a bunch of fucking war crimes, bro. We know that there was roughly 2.2 to somewhere between 2 million to 2.5 million people living in Gaza, right? Let's go conservative. Let's say 2 million. Even though everyone puts that at around 2.2. Conservative estimates are 2.2, but let's just say 2 million, right? We know that a majority of them, something like 50 to 75% are young, not even adults, right? And we also know that Donald Trump admitted that we got about 1.6 to 1.7 refugees in Gaza right now that need to be moved. He's trying to currently move them to Egypt or Jordan. So if the United States president is admitting that we got 1.6 to 1.7 million refugees, where'd the other 300,000 go by conservative estimates? Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the Israeli media has been saying for over a year, oh, we've minimized casualties. We have the best ratio of terrorists to innocent person killed in modern warfare. Ben Shapiro says that all the time. We're the most moral army in the world, right? But at the same time, they bomb the fuck out of buildings above ground while simultaneously telling you that Hamas has underground bunkers. Well, that doesn't make sense. If Hamas has a bunch of underground bunkers, why are you guys destroying buildings above ground? That doesn't make sense. Then you find out that they have the capability of using missiles that hit a building and take it out by floor. Oh, wow, really? Hold on. Then you find out that they had the pagers with bombs in them for 10 years. Chat. They had bombs in pagers, flip phones, beepers, walkie-talkies for 10 fucking years. 2014. Obama was still in office when these niggas had the bombs in there. So you're telling me, oh wait, it gets better. Then they killed one of their biggest adversaries, Ismail Haniyeh. They killed him in Iran. How'd they kill him? With a precise bomb that blew up a side of the bunker that killed him and his fucking bodyguard. No one else. So you're telling me that Israel has a capability of using direct missiles that take out a floor, keep the building intact. They have the ability to put bombs in fucking pagers, let them sit there for a decade before they detonate them remotely and blow them all up simultaneously. And they did it twice, by the way. They did it twice in September. Then you also have the ability to conduct assassinations of your adversaries on enemy ground. They did it in Tehran, Iran. They went and killed one of their biggest ops in their ops backyard. So which one is it, Israel? Is it you guys are a sophisticated military that has the capability of taking out your adversaries with precision? Or is it you guys are a cumbersome inadequate, stupid military that needs to indiscriminately bomb and knock down a population of 2 million plus because you guys can't hit your targets. Which one is it? Because I've seen you guys do this shit precision. But then on the same side, you guys are leveling Gaza. Doesn't make sense. The only conclusion that I can come to was that was the plan from the beginning. Level Gaza, kill as many Hamas guys as we can, use that as the excuse, destroy it, make it inhabitable, starve the population, make them miserable, and then make them leave Gaza and go to Egypt or Jordan. That was the goal in the beginning because Gaza is on beautiful land. Beachfront, water. Damn, you know what? It might be another Dubai. Then you figure out that Trump's son-in-law, Kushner, huge real estate guy. He's been talking about Gaza for years. Everything starts to come together. Then you figure out that on October 7th, the Israelis knew that Hamas was going to attack. How do we know this? Because Egyptian intelligence told Mossad. And they told the Israeli government, hey, these fucking weirdos are planning to break into Israel with gliders and shit. You might want to, do something. Why? Because Egypt gets paid a lot of money to play nice by Israel. And the last thing they want is to be implicated as aides of Hamas. So they're going to go ahead and push that intel right away. And when Israel got invaded and those people died on October 7th, Egypt came out first and said, whoa, hold on, stop the show. We told these guys that they were going to fucking break in. We gave the intel, we shared it. Why? Because Egypt's foreign aid from the United States is contingent upon them playing nice with Israel. So they came out immediately and sold out Israel and said, we gave them this intelligence ahead of time. Popular media doesn't tell you guys that, though. You got to go digging for that story. Then you find out that Netanyahu was in the middle of very serious criminal charges right around that time. So let me get this straight. He was able to get an attack, take all the power, avoid criminal prosecution, get the justification he needed to wage a war against his sworn enemies, Hamas, Hezbollah, Syria, the Houthis down in Yemen, Iran, all at the same time. He was able to go ahead and finally do the operation that they had been waiting 10 years to do, which is blow up those pagers against Hezbollah. He was able to bomb the Houthis. He was able to level Gaza, knock it down. He was able to get Bashar al-Assad out of power. He was able to take out his adversaries, Yahya Sinwar, Hassan Nasrallah of Hezbollah, bombed him into hell, killed Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran, Iran. I don't know, man. To me, sounds like a pretty good strategy for Netanyahu to make sure that he keeps power, not go to jail, and take out all of his adversaries in one shot. And simultaneously remove Hamas from power, move all the Gazan people, and take control of Gaza and turn it into a tourist destination. That would be a huge revenue generator for both Israel and the United States. Am I a conspiracy theorist for saying that? Some might say, yeah. But when you line everything up, it makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Then we find out from Yoav Galan himself, the former Minister of Defense, aka the equivalent to the Secretary of Defense here in the United States, basically oversees the entire IDF and the military. We find out that they ran the Hannibal directive on October 7th. Holy! What's the Hannibal directive? I'll tell you guys. It's a directive that allows the Israeli military to kill innocent Israelis to prevent them from being taken as hostages. Deplorable. Unacceptable. I told you guys this a million times. The death of anyone, whether it's an Israeli or a Palestinian, is absolutely unacceptable. And the fact that they're willing to kill their own to prevent hostage exchanges speaks volumes. I've talked about this before, but I'll say it again. 9 out of 10 times, when Hamas is able to go ahead and do one of these operations and kidnap Israelis, what ends up happening is Israel gets the lopsided short end of the stick and they have to go ahead and trade a bunch of Palestinians to get a couple of Israelis back. The ratio is always like 3 to 100. Israel got tired of that shit. So what did they do? Well, they learned their lesson after Elad. You look him up. IDF soldier got kidnapped back in like 2010-ish. was in captivity for like 5 years. They traded like 1,000 Palestinian prisoners for him, guys. He was an IDF soldier. Israel learned right then and there, damn, this puts us in a very bad geopolitical standpoint for negotiations. We can't have them kidnapping Israelis like this. It's probably better for us to just kill them. Hannibal directive, it's real. And I said this before with Suleiman, that on October 7th, the Hannibal directive was absolutely implemented. It was absolutely implemented. They shot into the kibbutzes and they killed innocent Israelis. Absolutely unacceptable. But this is what the IDF does. Because the IDF is a terrorist organization, just like Hamas. Because if you look at the history of the IDF, where does it come from? Haganah, Irgun, Levy Gang, terrorist organizations. They just rebranded. And then the dumb people don't understand or look at the history of these organizations to see this is where the IDF came from. And that's what I was going to talk about later, but we're on the topic now, so I might as well let y'all know. Yes, on October 7th, the IDF killed Israelis. The Apache helicopters killed a bunch of people at the music festival. If you look at the fucking carnage that was done, there was no way that the Hamas could have done that. The tanks fired into the kibbutzes. A baby was fucking killed. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Look. What transpired on October 7th was horrible. The death of anyone is an atrocity. But for the Israeli media to lie and say, oh, it was all perpetrated by Hamas is disingenuous, misleading, and most importantly, dangerous. Because they use that to justify unprecedented levels of aggression against the citizens of Gaza. They knew if they ran with the stupid narrative like dumbass Shmuley over here, who I wanted to debunk a billion times, but we're talking about, yeah, I can have a debate on Israel any other day. I could do this shit in my fucking sleep. Idiots like Shmuley and Ben Shapiro run with the lie of 40 beheaded babies, babies in the ovens, etc. It's a lie. It's not true. And to this day, we still haven't seen proof of it. Independent investigations conducted by the UN and other individuals have proven that it's not true. Only 2 babies died on October 7th. Which is a tragedy. Two babies too many. But this whole narrative of beheaded babies and ovens and stuff, it's a lie. Just like they said, oh, originally it was 2,000 Israelis, then it went down to 1,200, then we found out that the Hannibal directive killed about 400, or 300 of them roughly were IDF combatants. So that drops us down to about 900, and then we know the IDF killed a bunch of them. So how many did Hamas kill? We don't know exactly. No one knows. But we do know that the IDF killed innocent Israelis and lied about it until recently. And then I get called a fucking anti-Semite or a conspiracy theorist for saying this shit over a year ago with Suleiman that they killed their own. The Hannibal directive is real. It exists. They say that they don't practice it, but they do. And it was absolutely implemented on October 7th. I got a video here. I'll show you guys. To prove what I'm talking about. Then we'll go back to this Pierce interview. But we've been duped, chat. Western media has been duped. We've been lied to. And I'm not surprised. We've been lied to about so much shit, chat. We've been lied to about JFK. We've been lied to about 9/11. We've been lied to about the USS Liberty. We've been lied to about so many different fucking things. You can't believe anything anymore. Here we go. All the miners killed on October 7th were killed as a result of the Hannibal directive. Here is Colonel Golan Vak describing how IDF tank shelling killed 19 civilians, including 8 children in just one house and Kafar Aza.
Why is the destruction then? I'm sorry. Why is the destruction? It looks like more like a
cause of our tanks attack.
Fight on them.
Yeah, because they were blocked in these houses, and we need to conquer back the whole settlement, and it couldn't be happened without the tanks.
Okay.
So how many were here, and then how many survived? How many did you?
No one survived from this house.
That's just one house, because they were shooting tanks at them to kill the Hamas fighters from taking the hostages.
From other buildings, we rescued many, but from this house, 19 people died. Among them, 8 children. Evacuated them.
But why is the destruction then? I'm sorry. Why is the destruction?
This destruction
it looks like more like
a cause of our tanks attack.
Fight on them.
Yeah, because they were blocked in these houses, and we need to conquer back the whole settlement, and it couldn't be happened without the tanks.
Okay.
So how many were here, and then how many survived?
Craziness, craziness, craziness.